It's 2022, not 1984. However, misinformation is abounding all over our media. And politicians are saying to each other, you're misinforming the public. Roman Baber is a member of the provincial parliament in Ontario. He was a Conservative until he got booted out by Premier Ford. He joins me right now because he is an independent mind. You've seen all the announcements, Roman. Are government officials, elected or unelected, guilty of misinforming the public?
Well, we learned last week, finally, that the province has been overstating COVID hospitalizations. In fact, rather than reporting hospitalizations due to COVID, they have been reporting hospitalizations incidental with COVID. And Christine Elliott acknowledged that close to half of all folks that are deemed hospitalized in Ontario today with COVID are there just incidental.
Well, part of it is also the media, because I saw a report, and the one media report was saying, well, there's 60 deaths in Ontario today because of COVID. No, there were 60 over the whole last month. So it's not just the politicians that get mucked up.
Well, it's important that we keep the politicians honest, especially when it comes to some of the key metrics on the basis of which we make these extraordinary public policy decisions. Hospitalization was one of the key metrics that we're looking at because that's the premise, that's the rationale behind lockdowns.
Yep.
We're preserving hospital capacity. So when the government is overstating the number of COVID hospitalizations by a factor of 2, I think that's atrocious.
But they aren't being dishonest. They aren't being intentionally dishonest, are they? Are they going out and saying we're going to just scare the bejesus out of people and get them to stay home?
It's difficult to infer intent.
Yes.
But what's important is we know that we've been dealing with bad data from the beginning of this pandemic. The hospitalizations, the modeling that all of this is predicated on. All deaths are tragic, but I think it's important that families know whether a loved one actually passed away from COVID or with COVID. Long-term care families deserve justice to know whether COVID was the cause of death or maybe malnutrition or neglect. So honesty is a virtue,
yes,
but also it's important that we hold politicians accountable for what transpired and that we chart a correct course in public policy, and we can't do that without fair data.
But that's not happening. The opposition politicians are not saying to the government in Ontario or other jurisdictions, well, you're wrong on this, because they're all too timid.
We have no opposition in Ontario.
Well, you are.
I appreciate that. Look, I think we don't just have any political opposition. We have no opposition to the conduct that we've been seeing from governments for the last couple of years. It's cancel culture that's thwarting discussion and dissent, and groupthink is resulting in a disaster.
That's what it is, groupthink. Roman Baber, thank you very much. It's a disaster, 3 minutes. Thank you very, very much for watching and for engaging in the 3 minutes, which will carry you through most discussions for the day. 2022 is going to be a very, very tough year. Stay with us. Please tell your friends to subscribe and PayPal. Thanks.